I was like, yo, why is my arm hurt? Shit hurt. I looked at my shirt. I'm like, why is there a hole in my shirt? The dude that's the guy, I fucking looked at my shirt. I smelled the skin. I'm like,
It smell good?
No. Hi, on tonight's show, we're going to be talking about the economy and how we're going today.
Are you talking to us?
Today we have Desmond. How are you today? Great. We'll be back with you in just a short. All right, guys, that's 5. Great job. Appreciate the hard work. Come back in like 15 minutes. We'll run this back again. Okay?
Oh my God. I had a friend who used to do live mail, so they would stream constantly.
I had that.
They really would stream all the time.
Streaming, about to get my ratings up. Give me them diamonds. I don't spend no buck. Oh yeah.
Nothing was private. It was like we always had an audience.
Yo, it was dope when you can be in the box with like 9 people and just have like a big ass conversation. I don't know what the fuck happened to live meeting, but that shit was fire.
I need to smoke something. Who's got it?
The guns I smoked it.
Are we on a video or something?
Yeah.
We are recording right now.
Are we streaming?
Back to you, Chad.
Are we streaming? Are we live?
Yeah. You're live. You're on YouTube.
What?
Yeah, you're streaming on live on YouTube.
I've never been on YouTube. I don't do YouTube.
What's the
What's the stitch?
What's the gig here? Like, what's the fucking
Being hilarious.
I mean, I'm saying, what's
Let's be spontaneous.
What's our motivation? What's the title?
The motivation is you.
Oh, all right. So we're partying.
I can just do slow guitar. It's great.
Yeah, but if you call it Sunday morning, it's making it seem like we're a bunch of old people or something.
Sunday morning
What?
podcast.
It's not go to church time. It's time to smoke.
Is it recording too?
I hope it's not. What? It's doing
Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I have lip gloss all over my face in that bowl.
Yeah.
Womp, womp, womp.
I've heard that the Amish don't like photographs taken of them. Is that a thing?
It is a thing. They don't like that shit. It's like you're stealing their soul.
I feel that way sometimes.
Don't tell them.
Dude, oh my god. I was riding every once in a while, well, not every once in a while, all the time in the summer. I like to ride my motorcycle out in the country and shit. And I always see like the Amish people. One time, there were like these really cute Amish girls. Like, I mean, well, no, I wasn't thinking that, but like I was riding by on a motorcycle, I had my freaking horns on, my armor and shit. And like they were just so excited, like, and jumping on the side of the road, waving to me. Dude, this old Amish lady and old Amish guy was behind them and crept up on them. They got so pissed, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm speeding by and I see them like getting like scolded as I'm riding away. My dad was like, yeah, they're probably getting lashings because of you. And I'm like, yeah, but they're thinking of me while they're getting them.
That's crazy though. It's an interesting culture though.
Dude, I love the Amish
That's when I
people.
can
Like,
see you from here.
I said, can
The
you?
camera. You're in the heart-shaped mirror. It's not funny.
Fuck you, YouTube.
YouTube. Gonna get demonetized if you talk like that.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't say fuck without getting. I thought it was just for like copyright or like music.
I don't know what. I think you can't talk about certain subjects. You can't have certain content. You can't have certain songs. The songs are actually filtered automatically now. They actually have a software that does it.
Yep.
Automatic.
Any word whatsoever that is not deemed.
All right, wait. What's something? What's a song that will get us banned right now?
No.
A, B, C, D, E, F.
Is this
Technically,
the real life?
technically, they
Is
can't
this
sing
just
it.
fantasy? You can't fucking
You're
say
banned.
that. You
You're
can't
done.
say happy birthday.
Happy birthday too, yeah? No, you're right.
What? You'll be like, sorry, you're
That's what I'm saying. Like, what about Christmas shit? Like, I was thinking the other day, who owns
Copyrighted.
fucking Christmas?
copyrighted.
Who
I
owns
can-
that? Like, can I just come out and be like, all right, this is Christmas Town. This is my business.
Covers are allowed.
I'm all
Technically,
about
Christmas-
Christmas is not owned. It's
yours,
independent.
Who owns Christmas?
No one. It's independently.
government?
Independently gained by fucking
Right. So
incorporating
I'm gonna
themes into the
franchise
concept
off
of
of the
Christmas.
name Christmas and Santa, and my whole business is gonna
Marketing
be very
slogan,
free
Santa.
advertising, right?
Mrs. Claus later on. Market infringement. You know, it's saying like a whole bunch of Jack the Skeleton loving Christmas. It's like what? That's two fucking opposing fucking holidays.
You kind of remind me of Boomtower right now, like you're like a
Hang on,
version of
hang on,
Boomtower.
bigger than I'll tell you.
Who is?
Some good.
Mom?
Oh, Boomtower.
Yeah.
You didn't even introduce yourself. Not like anyone's watching. There's
Introduce
one person
myself
watching.
to these
Don't
fucking
think
people.
all Boom Hard.
Have you ever read the Hermetic writings? Like the Hermetic corpus? Gotta read it. You probably get a kick out of it. It's like
And I have a big ass brain.
yeah.
Like not physically, but like mentally speaking, my brain.
Yeah. You gotta have a mental palace. You ever heard of that? It's
I
like
do have one.
You have
this
one?
level. It's black and red.
I keep mine simple. It's just like a white room, small window that's a little too tall for me to see through.
No, mine's black and
Light
red.
comes in.
I have like an endless hallway.
That's nice. That's nice. I gotta. You can actually with the mental palaces, you as an exercise, people will create hallways and they'll put a thing in each room in the hallway.
I like traps.
Yeah,
I have a lot of traps.
in your mental palace.
Yes.
It's good as long as you can remember all the things in it. It's like the exercise is in its complexity. So whatever it is that you're heading to,
Like I
It's
said, I
only
like
gonna be
puzzles.
good.
So it's like I have a blank canvas of just my mental palace. And everything that you walk through is pretty much like you have to work your way around just one step. You take just one step, it could be a trap.
huh? It's incredible. It's incredible. Gotta visualize.
It's like looking down the hallway.
Yeah.
My mental palace is just this blank space, just this abyss.
I keep making shit mine.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Simple is also good too, though.
That's like half the world right now.
Yeah. Gotta create a sentient being.
Just versus like
That's the trick. You were saying that you have separate people that occupy you.
they don't have nothing to do with that. They're doing
Do they live in the castle or the palace? I should say.
now. You're not allowed in there.
No, they don't occupy that. Separate.
What are they, just like in the yard? Where are they? Where do
No,
they exist?
They-
listen, they're like neighbors.
Where do they exist in relation to the palace?
Like neighbors.
Neighbors.
How far away neighbors?
I think I'm a pie grab.
If they
They
could,
not share a significant portion of brains.
Pie graph is kind of like a two-dimensional.
is your mental space continuous? Like if you were to
With other people.
physically walk
In your head?
to any place in your mind,
You have people
I
in
feel like
your
that's the
head?
way I would visualize it myself.
It's weird. I never really move. Once I go to my
Specifically
palace,
speaking,
I
I
don't
have
go
different
anywhere.
reasons.
How do you visualize your
Thoughts
literal
come to
existence?
me.
You don't have
Thoughts
different
come to
me's in your
you?
head. There's, like, thoughts of the future.
Your different ideas of.
But what if you have conflicting
Well,
goals?
think about this. Like
What if you have
every,
conflicting goals?
it's like the mind always tries to
If I can
even when
talk
we're
in all different ways that we're speaking right now,
even if it was just like in our own thoughts or inside of our head, like we always somehow subconsciously try to like filter it into some kind of like verbal language that we hear as an echo or something.
I get a
sometimes.
headache.
So it's like verbal language is such a crude means of communicating some concept, but it's obviously like the main means of communication.
What verbal?
So yeah, so or just like language, like you know what I mean? Not necessarily. Well, yeah, like verbal language. Like we're always trying to put things into like words and definitions when obviously like ideas
True.
are
Names
like
can
way
be
more
names.
than that. It's like a package, not just a string. You know what I mean?
Ever read the Tao Te Ching?
What?
The Tao Te Ching. So in the first line it says, the name that can be named is not the eternal name. And what it means is things are constantly changing.
Yes.
Right.
Specifically specify something if it is empty.
Even if there's something defined, like my or any number of people's interpretation or idea of that thing, even though it's defined, can change. You know what I mean? So it's like
You can't define
that.
something that can change.
So like, even though the definition is still catching the gist of what that thing is, it's not catering to like the label isn't catering to the idea that each individual has. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no never gonna capture the most accurate representation of what that viewer's interpretation is, that experience is. That's all I have to offer for this fucking stream.
Do you believe there are two opposing forces in the universe or a single force driving the complete universe?
It's called physics, my boy. Physics.
Physics? So you think there's 5 or so? What was it? Magnetism, weak strong, gravity, and
Oh, the forces? It's what?
those would be the forces that
Forces
can make
of
a whole universe.
gravity, magnetism, strong and weak, nuclear force. I'm missing one.
Are they stand-ins for God?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, and that's the whole thing. It's like verbal language. We're trying to define things. I feel like sometimes, or a lot of time, we're interpreting the same. We're trying to like define the same things. Like some people like talking about God, religion, and things, and they could be 100% right. But like, so are possibly like other people talking about like science things. You know what I mean? But we're trying to use the definitions and the verbal language that we're comfortable with.
What's that?
Hope and force.
Hope and force?
Okay.
Yeah. Got it.
The sky's moving up so we can breathe good air again. Take a lot of energy.
I think the
Soul.
universe. I think the environment's going to be completely fine. I think the technology we're going to develop in the next couple of years is going to be so much more advanced than we realize that we're just going to be like, oh wow, it turns out this problem is much easier to solve than we realized. We're just going to have like pools of algae that of this variety, and we'll just do whatever is required that we do, and like it will just be solved. I'm
And
sure.
it'll get people excited and motivated to
Yeah.
continue to invest in that kind of stuff.
It's true. I think the world will be fine. I don't know.
Like I think a lot of people like they pass up these things. Like I see so many ads. It's like, oh, this like $100 course is only $20 now, and I feel like people like think it's scams and shit. It's like that's just real knowledge. You know what I mean? People, it's that cheap. You know, sometimes it's a scam, but like I feel like things like that is that cheap because people just aren't interested in it for some reason because they think like, oh, that's school stuff, that's studying or that's math. You know what I mean? But it's like really, I think as time goes on, like you said, technology is gonna eventually get people motivated to like pursue those things on their own and not yeah, just kind of like I don't know, grow up as a fucking race, as a species.
I feel like I'm always like, oh, Europe's doing it this way, and it seems to be working for them. Why aren't we doing it like that? And I also see stuff like massive riots. But like, I guess it's not the same places. I've heard France is having riots. Is that true? You heard about this?
I haven't really. I've just been seeing the mainstream shit lately,
It's true. It's true.
and it's crazy how like there are a ton of other things going on right now.
I know, right?
Like,
I feel like our news media distracts us from the rest of the world. Like, you know how many like
Yeah.
revolutions were happening in South America this year? How much did that go together? feel like we focus on ourselves a lot.
I feel like I always feel like, and it's probably the same for every country, but they just have a different like household, which I guess will make sense in a second. Like I feel like the government that runs the country, they're like the parents, but it's like sometimes, especially with like the two-party system, it's like we have like mom and dad, but like they broke up. So like sometimes we stay at dad's house, sometimes we stay at mom's house, and like they try to make it look like they're getting along and like they're running everything right and they're raising us right, but actually, they're like these underlying things that are happening to us, the kids, because of the way that they are,
It's true.
and they don't see it. They just, you know what I mean?
That's the way I look at it is they're all in it together. Everything is pre-planned. Everything is discussed amongst them, and they're doing it on purpose. And they make it look like they're doing it the way they're doing it in order to pacify us. I think they're much
And that's
more
a straight thought because it's just as, you know what I mean? It's like just as plausible.
Yeah, I think it's all an inside club, and they're using it to make money and to help their friends make money. And then money allows them to retain their power. And
It all comes down to money too, because like
yeah, because that allows
That's-
the money they have allows them to influence the world in such a way as to produce more money. Which produces more influence.
right, and I feel like that influence would be like there would be less influence if there's like one common denominator that every single person on the whole planet has, and they all have to have food and water. You know what I mean? It's like it sounds like this big, crazy, huge thing.
Yeah, but more or less, we already have that. I mean, if
But
I
like
became
we all
homeless
have to
tomorrow,
use the same currency that we are compensated for our work, which also requires the fuel of food and water. We use that same currency to continue doing it.
I was like,
It just doesn't make
yeah,
sense.
we can.
What are you smoking, bro? Not a whole cigarette?
Sure, why not?
No, keep going.
I feel like a lot of the people in this country are intentionally or otherwise shooting themselves in the foot constantly.
And I feel like the main thing is it's because I feel like everyone on some level is fearing for their lives, which on a certain level is okay because okay, like this is nature, we're animals, and that's how it is out in the wild, and people like to see it that way, which is okay. But we're modernized and we're smarter and we're like kind of like an outlier on the food chain just because of our intelligence and our dexterity alone, like.
The capacity to prevent suffering is an obligation.
Right. Exactly. It's an obligation, and I feel like we haven't grown into that and realized, like, okay, we have responsibilities being this, this high up. And like, I mean, obviously, we're the only species that has like the government, and is this
So
far
far,
up.
this way.
But like, why are we, why are we using ourselves, or like, the other species on our planet as the bar? You know what I mean? Like, I think. I think that charging ourselves for our basic needs to be alive.
Gotta get that $300 insulin.
Like, but there's just the basic. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, everyone has to have food and water. Like, I feel like if that expense alone just somehow went away, that would be a huge burden, and people on some level wouldn't feel as much like they're just fighting to survive, and they have to, do anything they can and screw anybody just to be alive.
Yeah, that's not the situation. People that are screwing people are also very popular.
But even screwing people in like in like smaller ways too, just to make each other's lives more difficult. I mean, like sometimes people will have like a whole attitude because of their struggle.
Yeah, no, that.
Yeah.
I heard her. I just heard her.
That was me.
Yo.
Yeah, she's under the bed. Yeah. I don't think it's possible possible to for the government. I think the military is far too strong nowadays. I feel like the only way that would work is if the military was in on the overthrow. And I feel like
They
the only
anywhere.
He's sleeping under here.
I feel like if the military were in on it, it'd probably be not good anyway. I don't know. I feel like our military industrial complex scares me. So does our prison system. They all scare me. It's like
Yeah.
they're all so built up.
You're a renter person?
I would never want to be. Yeah, I bet it does.
Especially during times like this,
Yeah.
like all that, any kind of congregate housing like that. You know what I mean? Like where all these people are, like nursing homes are freaking like death camps right now, dude. Like someone, an old person gets sick,
No.
and that shit's just crazy, dude.
Mom.
And to think like all the contact they're having, like with people assisting them just to be alive or go to the bathroom, like it's really kind of crazy. Is that still streaming?
Yeah. I wonder if they can hear everyone.
They probably can.
They hear everything.
It's true. Is anyone listening?
There's one person watching.
Nice.
It's you, because you're on it right now.
No,
it's
does
not.
it count?
Does it count?
It
It
says
does
0.
count.
So then you have 0 views.
It counts on everything else.
It said 0 when I started. Which one?
You can't see who it is? Yeah, I'm curious. What's your name? Who are you? Do you watch me?
I feel like it's literally like if you watch yourself on Twitch or Facebook, it
You
says
said,
it's
how
on
dare you
you.
watch me? That is what got me. How dare you watch me?
Because I believe it's using like the cookie from your browser session, not.
I like cookies.
That's
Well, I don't
possible.
fucking know.
I don't know.
That's what happens when people get talking on. I keep forgetting that we're being recorded.
It's true. You gotta be careful not to accidentally confess to all your horrible crimes. And so there's one time I was murdering
I didn't think you were gonna mention that live.
No, I felt it coming. It was definitely like, yeah, we're gonna just admit to doing corporate. It'd be stimulating and stuff.
It's true. Gotta protect your witnesses. Isn't that how reporters do it? They like keep the identity of the person who's story.
Which get their ass killed.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
under certain
firsthand.
circumstances.
It's fucked up.
Yes, we can see
What? No.
Not us.
I only open the kill. I want to
Man.
spread the message.
What if I took the throne?
Then people will know your face. Oh, that's actually perfect. Now you really look like a witness.
We'll have to download the video and then edit it and then raise the freaking
That's true.
brightness.
We'll see it. Oh god. Your identity is now exposed.
Black whisper on the spit.
I'll never know who I am.
The best thing about it being cold out is you can use the outside as your refrigerator.
Jerry was a shit. Mixed it with some vodka. Alright. What? Ew. Oh, you alright?
This is anonymous.
Are you serious?
If you say that, you stop being anonymous.
Don't talk to them up.
I'm gonna get a message like in my Facebook video like,
We
so
know.
we know. I'll just get the black hand from Skyrim
We know.
letter. We know.
Your online account is just like it's frozen.
No, man, they're already listening. It's fine.
They are everywhere.
The thing about
And they are
anonymous
coming.
is like it's just an entity. I mean, well, my theory is that it's just like an entity. Like I feel like there's some powerful hackers out there, and I think if there's something that
I'm a seat, bro.
oh.
This is my YouTube channel. Oh.
Shit, get out my seat, ho.
Doesn't log in. My shirt. My garter box.
I had a fucking pair of like knuckles that strapped around my head.
Yeah, can you imagine meeting somebody who falls with those?
What? The pain would be excruciating. Finish it. Fake chocolate chip.
What it is, man?
Where are those?
Like Bobby Pins?
What it is?
Cowboy Bebop is my shit.
I saw
Every
that.
time I hear the fucking theme song in my head, I just be like, didn't it?
We put more effort on your hair than you did on mine.
Hey, yeah.
I saw Samurai Champloo, but I haven't seen Cowboy Bebop yet.
You haven't seen? You haven't watched Cowboy Bebop? Fucking God! Where have you been?
I'm sorry, we need to cut this off.
Cut screen. Pause. What?
Samurai Champloo. No, I think
I was about to say, if you haven't seen Samurai Champloo and you haven't seen the conclusion of Samurai Champloo,
Oh, I see.
you, sir, have to
Yeah, I really want to watch an anime that'll make me cry.
watch
I
the
mean, it
God.
won't be hard, but
Look,
like,
look, look, watch the God. Watch the God. Black Butler.
I barely cried on that one. Like, that was nothing.
The world only God knows. That show make you cry. The world only God knows.
The one that made me cry the hardest ever, dude. Oh my god, I can't even remember. My Japanese sucks, you know. I can't remember the Japanese title, but it was Dust Maiden of Amnesia. Dude, like, I was not prepared for, like, it was just a good ass anime at the end, dude. I literally, like, lost my shit, like, and was surprised at myself. And I cried.
And you gotta watch that shit. That shit is fucked.
Oh,
The ninja fucking tribes going at each other for the top spot for fucking main ninja for the nation and shit. Them niggas killed each other viciously.
because they had to for the village.
You gotta watch Grave of the Fireflies. It's about this kid and his sister, and they're like super young. They're like he's like a teenager, she's like 9 or something, even younger probably. And it's set in the period where Japanese was hit with their bombs, and he's in a village just outside the city. So he's not directly impacted by it, but he ends up like starving to death because there's no infrastructure anymore. And it's super.
I
depressing.
may have
It's
seen
super depressing.
an animation, like a clip from that.
You probably did. Same. It's
Yeah,
very
like
You gotta watch.
you can see like the bomb going on the
You
flash
ever
and
watch- you ever
everything
watch
getting
that shit called
destroyed.
Blade?
Like, yeah,
It's called Blade. Have you watched Blitz? Not Blitz. What is it called?
I honestly haven't seen too much. I've seen a lot of Studio Ghibli stuff. That's pretty much it.
Spirited Away is always that shit always brings me to a place.
Gotta watch.
I just finished watching Orphan. That shit.
I've never seen that either.
Made in Abyss.
You gotta watch the Jujutsu Kaisen. That shit.
What was the one where?
Clockwork Tower. Tower of God. God of High School.
The one where what?
Oh, where they're trying to kill the god, and they're in Irontown. And like he's the forest god. He's trying to prevent them from cutting down the trees to burn in the furnaces, and so they try to kill him.
I don't know,
I can't think of the name
and I'm
of it.
sure people who watch anime would be.
They'd be
pissed.
like, "Yes, I know what it's called." I can't think of it. They'll come with that. There are a lot of good ones. There are a lot of good shows.
Blue Exorcist disappointed me.
What's that one called?
Blue Exorcist
I think I've heard of that.
disappointed. Demon Slayer?
Freezing?
I'm waiting for the new season.
Bro, what about hentai titles?
Gotta get that.
Listen, it's not all
Blue
tentacles.
Star Witch.
I feel like Japan. Like, let's
Ninja
face it,
Scroll.
like people
Ninja
don't take
Scroll.
porn seriously, but like it's a production, like it's art
Yeah,
a lot of times. And I just feel like in that way, the artistic way, Japan takes it to a whole nother level. Like I just feel like they care more about the quality of the art.
Same thing with
What's so funny? I think in a lot of industries, not just in the porn industry, actually.
gotta take all your work seriously.
Porn industry.
I feel like I'd be more of a director than like an actor. Unless like there was a really particular scene that I wanted to be done right, then I would have to take the stage.
Be self-employed in that aspect. Just do everything yourself.
I was gonna start at OnlyFans, but I just gotta figure out. I gotta research and figure out what kind of content I need to do for that.
Yeah, you gotta film yourself jerking off my camera.
I don't know about it. Someone's gonna have to pay money for that.
They'll pay.
I mean,
Won't be
if they'll
necessarily the
pay.
people you're looking for. But you're something special. Everybody's something special. I believe
Rule
that.
34, dude.
Deep
We're
in
all
my
on
heart.
that list.
Deep in my heart, I believe that. You just gotta be willing to expose yourself to the internet.
Like I said, for money.
For money.
So,
Well, I mean, how else are they gonna respect you? You do it for free. Caps. What do they think? These
I'm
things
not
grow on
blessing the
trees?
internet with that for free. Are you kidding me?
I used to have a website with good times. That's a real way to make money in 2021. Yeah.
Well, I haven't gotten much feedback from the public, so like I feel like the only way for me to get accurate data is to watch like male
You think
like
that'll inspire
OnlyFans,
you?
and that's the only like. Listen, I can professionally, gather data, and I'm like, okay, all right, I see where they're going with that, and then kind of adapt.
But you have to ask them directly.
What? What do you mean?
OnlyFans female be in their partner? Be in OnlyFans?
No, I was talking about males, so I can do my own.
They also have females that have OnlyFans that they post higher than they.
Yeah, you think they'll hook up with you?
Or yeah, maybe I'll just
Make
do
it
the stuff
so
the
loud.
girls do. I'll just do the shit the girls do on OnlyFans. That makes them money.
Just gotta get a girl to get just post off their work. I feel like it's a lot easier to convince people to look at naked women. That's the way the thing is. That's the way the world is.
It's easier, but there's a benefit in overcoming that difficulty. I feel like.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean. Like
how
if
are we
you really
supposed to
did
value
get
our
some
bodies?
good, if you really did get some good, unique content out there, that like even the females were like, oh shit, like this
True.
guy got it right. You know what I
You
mean?
gotta bring the male body back into popularity.
Right. And I feel like I can do that.
It's gonna be me. I'm the spearhead. That's perfect. I encourage you. You miss 100% of the shots you do that.
Exactly. And sometimes you just gotta take the fucking shot. I find a lot of people are like timid and afraid of not just of like stuff like that, but just like in general. It just kind of bothers me. Because like I feel bad. It's like I want people to feel empowered and strong and shit. And like I just see all these like timid, like scared people.
You know what you gotta do? You gotta take two of the unempowered people, and you gotta put them out there with one knife. And the person who comes out will be empowered. You just face it.
Or they'll just do nothing. You know what I mean? It'll be a stalemate. And that's how I feel like it is. It's like,
They'll get hungry. They'll get
how long will it take for them to get hungry? That's the thing.
How long will it take before they realize the knife is real?
Or maybe they'll just use the knife on themselves.
Oh, that would be sad. They just give
But
up.
I mean, obviously, I hope we're both
Obviously,
thinking
that
about this
works out.
metaphorically here, too.
lose hope immediately. Just take themselves out.
But that's the thing. That's what fudges the data so much because they could like lose hope immediately. They could lose hope in like 10 years. They could like just not do anything for 10 years. They could just cooperate
How long do you think you could
and
live
just
in
die
some
together
sort of
and do nothing.
Think you could? I feel like you're trying to crazy. But I feel like I'd survive, but I'm crazy.
That's where I'm at now.
I feel like gotta color out the walls. That's the way. Oh, that's why I get
I'm still like putting this into like some kind of allegory in
Bro,
my
I
mind.
don't know, bro.
Oh, how to awaken someone's self-respect, or what would be the word? Self-empowerment.
I don't even know. This simulation is just so deep right now.
Yeah, you're right. Gotta use the simulation.
I mean, not that I don't have the capacity for it, but there's just like there's so much. so, so much. Do you believe you are part
Nothing
of the
wall lock.
simulation?
What's even on?
Do you think you're a part of the simulation, or are you just observing it?
I think I'm already like the brain in the jar somewhere. Or actually, it's either that or I kind of lean more towards the fact I feel like I am just a concentrated focus of like the universe. You know what I mean? Materials came together and bombarded each other and stacked up in such a way that like it became complex enough to like merge consciousness. And like in that whole framework, that whole platform and game may be in a simulation. And if that's so, then I'm like the brain in the jar somewhere. Or it might even be just like I'm Rick and Morty, like, and I'm literally at an arcade just playing a fucking life cycle game for like 10 minutes.
That would be horrifying.
There's gonna be like a game over, and like my buddy's gonna take the headset off and be like, oh jeez, Rick, where's my wife? Where are my kids? You know what I mean? That would be terrifying, but think about it, like you hop out of VR, you're like gonna quickly get over it.
That's true.
Because
As long
you'll
as
get
your old
snapped out of
memories
it.
return, yeah, I suppose you're right. And you'd be in the future.
And you'd be okay with that. You know what I mean?
Who would ever choose to play this game?
But looking at it ahead of time that you're gonna play the game, and then looking at it in retrospect,
That's true.
it's like not even a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
At all.
they're probably like, what? That game only has
Like,
60
like,
years of gameplay?
I gotta beat my high score.
It's true, it's true. You gotta get that.
Let's play in 60 years. We're good.
How long
But
do you
really,
guys
it was just like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's true. It could be like a dream.
No, if it was VR and the time frame was different, yeah. Fucking spend a night, fucking like 100 years and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've all figured out that you can live forever if you just keep getting back into the VR tank. You just live a different life every time. We value that. Gotta live every single
I
life.
fucking love that shit. Sword Art Online was the best.
Maybe that's, and then like when I get like more on the spiritual side, I think like maybe those are the steps you have to take to become like a god or something. You know what I mean?
You know, according to Plato, when you die, you go to a place with a bunch of pools of water, like an infinite number of pools of water. You can look into them, and what you see in the pool of water is the entire life of a thing. And you get to choose to step into the water, and you become that thing. You will live its lifestyle. But you go in with full knowledge of every single thing that
I
happens.
feel
And
that.
you get to evaluate it and decide to take it.
And I feel like that's why like some of the challenges in my life vibe with me like so hard, even though they're my challenges. They should like I feel like they're just so ironic and so specific to like things that like just manifest in my mind. I tend to believe something like that. You know what I mean? Like maybe like I chose to like do to go through this, and that actually kind of keeps me alive. Like sometimes
Yeah.
it's weird.
I like to imagine like the relative suffering. So like if I must exist in every single life that has ever happened in order to
Right.
complete the cycle, then I'm gonna have to experience all the suffering.
And then I imagine myself getting just totally like mutilated somehow.
Yeah, yeah. Gotta visualize it. Because it's gonna happen. According to this belief system. And then you get to
Are you okay?
He's soaking it all in, and he's gonna apply this to his whole fucking mental palace.
I feel like if you forget the things you hear every day, what was the point of hearing them in the first place?
I think that only you exist, and like all these people here talking, and like you hearing yourself talk, and just like the conversation you're having with all of this is just for you. You know what I mean? Like
Pretty much saying everybody after talking to you.
like
I agree with that.
it's just it's
Personification of yourself.
and then it kind of and you it kind of feels right too because you can only really confirm your own reality.
Exactly. I agree with that as well. Like as a solid system.
And it really is that way because if you like I feel like a lot of times when people try to define reality it kind of comes down to just the interpretation of the system which is their body and all its sense all its input. It's just the interpretation of that is their reality and the reality is all that there is. Like if that makes any sense.
No, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And then once we've lived every life, there's nothing else to do. We'll do something else. I feel like the future's gonna be great. I think the future will only get better.
Regardless.
I feel like medicine is gonna get more advanced. I feel like information technology is gonna get more advanced. I feel like automation will take away the requirement for human work. Like things are gonna be so different that we can't visualize what it would be like right now.
Right. Like I watched a video recently of like when computers like first came out. It was like a big huge desktop and it was like $2,000. And like this guy was just so baffled. The salesman was telling him like, this guy like, you tell me I can put one of those new compact discs inside of this and it'll play a whole movie right on this screen and I don't have to go however they fucking watch movies back then. And it just blew my mind and it was just like literally like five frames per second. Like shit. Like oh
Use a hard drive that could store all of the human writings that have ever have been created.
everything.
Everything is put on his hard drive. It's that big.
Like my gaming computer was $2,000. Like
It's all relative.
it's
$2,000.
right. It's like
$2,000 in 1960 was worth 8 times more. So the relative value of today's money to money in 1960 is 8 times the exchange rate.
but the thing that sucks is like money is stupid though because like it like money itself is dumb like because it can't it can't compensate for like how socially like how it's socially passed around and shit. Like you know what I mean like people can try to predict and change prices and you know what I mean and like try to manipulate the money from like the outside and how we're gonna use it and stuff but like society back then was totally different and operated differently than it does now and that's going to affect the value in a way like of the money just because of the behavior of the people that are using it and like I feel like as long as we don't like, as long as something doesn't change about parents, I'm not saying I have any fucking bright idea. As long as something doesn't change with like money, or
it will have to be restricted. It will have to be restricted.
it has to
because
be.
If no one's working, because every job's been automated, then you're not going to be able to decide what class someone is based on what job they do.
And not only that, I feel like there's got to come a point where people are they're either getting an amount of money on a regular basis, or they're getting provided like some kind of food, some kind of currency just for food, and stuff like, but everybody, not just like people.
Why would it just be for food? It's not like if no one is employable because technology has advanced to the point where labor has become so cheap to automate that it would be pointless to employ a human being. At that point, either they have to massive die off and people just live off of what they've accumulated up to this point, or they're gonna have
Right, like how are they gonna?
Right.
How are they gonna accommodate? Exactly.
I think they'll just accommodate people. I feel like the surplus that will be created by having an all-robot workforce.
But we have that's the thing that's scary though, because we have that shit now. And we produce so much now, and like you would think that we'd be able to accommodate everyone.
We already
And
can.
we can. But like exactly, so it's like what's to say that even though everything's automated, they're just like the people who are automating this process and like have ownership of all that, they're gonna be making money. And like why would they just why would they give us? I don't think they're gonna accommodate us at all. This is gonna get worse.
Well, look,
The same way it has.
So like they were like, we don't like the way the factory owners are running factories. So the people who work at the factories are just gonna agree that the people now own factories. And they're just not gonna acknowledge the original owner. They're just not gonna treat them like they own the place. You know what I mean? Like the only thing that gives them the ownership of the factory is the fact that they believe they have the ownership of the factory. And if they just treat them like they don't, then it's as if they do not. So if we ever got to the point where people were starving in mass numbers because of automation, and the few people who own the companies that automated are the only people with food, I think it'd just be uprising. And I think it'd be fine, unless they're willing to kill everybody, which I doubt they are. I mean, no one wants to live alone on the planet. So I suspect they want to keep the crowds just for the aesthetic of the crowd. So
At the very least,
yeah. I suspect they wouldn't kill us all. So we'd just be like, as a group, would be like, hey, supply us with our necessities.
Or it would finally just make some kind of realization as a whole.
I think it'll be addressed long before that.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I suspect automation could happen within just a few years.
It's the technology is like that's what's so crazy. It's like I feel like our kids and our kids' kids are gonna like they're gonna be so much more interested in like technology and like programming and things, and they're gonna realize like right off the bat how easy all this shit is.
I doubt that because I suspect what would cause the advance in technology will be the creation of a machine very marginally more intelligent than human. And then that will create a machine only marginally more intelligent than itself.
Before our kids grow up?
I think so.
What about before our kids? It's our next generation.
I suspect we'll have a machine smarter than a human, probably within 10 years. And a machine that is considered a super intelligence will probably be here within 25.
I agree. I know that neural network I know that the Neuralink is gonna be freaking amazing. Like I don't know if you've heard of that. Neuralink, Elon Musk is doing that. It's basically like it's like 1,000 little probes that are inserted into your brain, and it can actually send and receive data like to the brain. So like you can potentially like in the future, future development, you'd be able to like render images, directly in audio. Yeah.
They put a mesh on the back of the guy's brain, 64. It was 8x8 mesh. They were able to create foggy images on a blind person.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. I saw a project. They were running it off of like a fucking Arduino or something. and it was like they just had all the sensors like I think it was like individual, and they just had it custom built, and they were literally rendering images that they saw like on like a screen, and it was coming out like fuzzy and weird, but it was almost what they were seeing on the screen from their eyes.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And just as a developer, I'm thinking like, that's 1,000 gateways, that's 1,000 nodes to like, activate some kind of logic or some kind of, function. You know, obviously like a little more complicated than that, but like,
Just gotta have it like spontaneously generated, and then you just it's like the opposite of 3D printing, where you remove some of the material with light. That's how they make the chips these days.
yeah, like kind of like etching it out.
Yeah, gotta just. I feel like it's no different than operating a camera. Like the physical hardware of the human eye is just a lens with a photo reactive material. Like it's not that different.
Right.
I feel like it'll be fine. I feel like human sight is going to be improved.
Like once we start visualizing and being able to like really like measure and manipulate data from like our sensory input and shit, that's when, but not limited to like highly funded like medical facilities, like that's when it's gonna take off.
Gotta get
Like the
consumer
world is.
electronic. You're like, oh, my eyeball, the update didn't go well. I'm gonna get a new one.
I feel like that's literally within. That's definitely way within our lifetime. I know it. Shit like that.
Be great. I mean, within our lifetime could mean a lot of different things because, like, by the time
Our natural lifetime, I
yeah,
guess.
I mean, even our natural lifetime could be prolonged. Like 120 years would not be unusual at the way things are going. I feel like people are living a long time these days.
Yeah.
I feel like the polymers, they're gonna reverse aging. They're gonna prevent our DNA strands from separating at the ends.
It's gonna be crazy. Like I feel like we're gonna get to a point where humanity, figures like a lot of really important shit out, and then like we really have nothing left to do here, and like that, and like that's when it's gonna get exciting for humanity if they make it that far. Like when humanity starts getting bored and they start cooperating, that's gonna be insane. So, dude, psychopath. Yeah, I love psychopath.
What's it about?
It's like
Isolating your brain, to each other and fucking manipulating people. Anybody that has like a hostile like thought, you get to meet and the rest of the fucking shit.
yeah.
You work your way around that shit.
It's like a giant like there's all these like brains, like thousands of brains like that are hooked up to this network and this AI, and like it determines like your crime coefficient, like if you're likely based on like your whatever input it's getting from you. It determines whether you're going to commit a crime, and it'll make like the police officers' guns like lethal or non-lethal or just like fucking destroyer mode. In VR chat, it wasn't my avatar, but I had jacked this avatar, and it had this crasher gun it was literally the Eliminator from Psychopaths. And like you could set it to stun, and it would just kind of like freeze the player, and it would be all like their game would freeze up or whatever. But then there was like destroyer mode, and it would literally fucking, some computers would give you like a blue screen of death.
What? Really?
Yeah, dude. There's like gangs running around in VR chat. Like I don't know about now, but like they would like crash your shit. It was insane.
I remember with Xbox 360, if you sent someone a message if you kicked them from the party while they were listening to an audio message, it would crash their Xbox. So if you sent them an audio message and then while they're listening to it, you kick them, it'd be like, just turns off.
It's like, yo, I'm a hacker, bro. I'll hack your shit right now.
It's true. I would do it to people.
Send the fucking message. You suck.
It was the best. Technology, it comes a long ways, but I feel like there's a certain culture around technology that stays the same. Like, it's always going to be funny to do that to people.
Yeah. It's douchey sometimes, but like malware is just so fun, like because like internet and technology, it's like I always say it's not like people literally think it's like magic. But it's only kind of magic, so I call it alchemy. Like
that implies that I don't understand what I'm doing.
right, but it's like but sometimes there are alchemists and there's different levels of alchemists. Like I feel like developers should be called alchemists from now on. And shit. Like the IT guys should be called like alchemists.
You ever read any texts? I was talking to him about
Back in the day,
Hermetica.
way back, like little kid times. Back in the day.
Good stuff. Gotta turn something into something. Gotta create a separate human being that only you can see. And they have all the characteristics of a separate person. You can't necessarily read their actions.
But can you feel them?
That would be weird. If you could physically touch them, or if you could feel like they're present.
If
But
you
if you
could
could
physically feel them.
that would be amazing. I feel like in a dream state, I could literally do that. But in an
I
awakened
can't
state,
actually think of somebody having
Maybe
the
like
ability of feeling somebody else's pain.
maybe like an
What if that
implant.
person died?
It might be nice though, because you could experience that without dying, and then imagine what you would know and feel after that being alive. I would love to feel that and still be alive. Even if it destroyed me, I feel like it'd be too unique to pass up.
good experience. I feel like that's why I would never be part of permanent anymore. I would just want to live a really, really long time and then die.
I'd want to just be killed somehow naturally. You know what I mean?
What in a blast, in an explosion.
If I was
so I
a
don't
mortal, I
feel
wouldn't
it.
have the notion of thinking
What? I suppose that's true.
Or if I can at least be assured that I'll be like an observer. You know what I mean? I just really want to see where this goes.
like I just observe.
But if it's just a game, you know, and I chose to jump in this pool, like, then I might just not even care, and I might regret listening.
It's true. You never know. I feel like
Hi, what's up?
mysteries of beauty.
What last time? You were reading?
How many viewers do
You
you have?
have
6,000.
one viewer.
Yeah, it's us. We're the one viewer.
You can't be a viewer on your own.
Yeah, it definitely counts. The browser isn't that smart.
Is there any likes? Can you see from me?
No, they're not.
No, there's only dislikes.
They hate us. They're mad because I talked shit about the Amish. I apologize.
What's up, guys?
I got 2 people coming in.
Who?
You convinced people to watch your stream?
Yeah. The number went up to 3. That's just now, but earlier.
Yeah, they were like, nah, bro. It's because you invited them, but then it was just us talking about fucking reality.
It's all my fault. I made it like this.
Can you fix my lamp?
Bro, tell me, what does Jesus stick see right now?
Can you fix my lamp?
Eyes are closed too.
Lost the screw.
It's a
This
broken
one lost the
message.
screw.
It's not fixable. Do you think that's fixable?
I don't know.
I think it's snapped, literally. Which is why
That's got this
it's true. One of them is missing.
I can't find the hole, bro.
It's got a screw on the end of it. Or a bolt.
Oh, it does. Yeah, well, it's not gonna go in then. You screwed. I was literally not even trying to make a joke either. But it's
true.
just funny.
The problem is they welded it into place, and because they welded it kind of weakly, when it was being tightened, it snapped. And now it
Shit.
doesn't really work anymore. That's why welding is a skill. People who can weld well, they're good.
I wish. Every weld I've done came out looking like a fucking spiky mace. Like all of these amount of just like
Gotta be a craftsperson. Gotta be a craftsman. It's good to be able to make things.
Yes, I can't find a place. Yeah.
I got a friend. They knit hats.
I can sew hats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Done it before. I gave them to my brothers and sisters.
do you have a spinning wheel?
I still haven't painted my masks. You know what I noticed? The masks that I have, if you look at them from behind, it does that effect kind of like you ever look at the two cups or the two faces that makes a cup in the middle?
Oh yeah.
It does one of those, but where if you look at the back of the mask, it will turn into the front of the mask. It's like an illusion. And if you tilt it, it tilts in the opposite way you would expect it to tilt. It's like opposed because the shadows
Like an
are
optical illusion.
Yeah, it's a crazy optical illusion. Here, I'll show you. I took a picture of it because it's so unbelievable to look at.
What was the mask made out of?
Paper.
Oh, paper. I made a freaking masquerade mask out of I 3D printed it and sanded it and painted it and shit.
You actually look.
Oh, so that's the inside.
That's inside. It's like a cap.
Yeah.
Isn't that?
It's
You'll look-
concave.
It looks like
It's
coming out.
concave tilted to the right, like facing to the right a little bit.
Yeah, isn't that creepy? It's like watch. I made a video of it. It's spinning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
I thought it was turning
The opposite way, right?
the opposite way.
Nope.
Wow, yeah, that's awesome. What the hell?
Here, you wanna see this?
It's 2 a.m., boys.
Hello, it's time for ASMR. Today, during ASMR, I will be smoking this cigarette.
It is 2.5.
Here we go, guys. This is what you've been waiting for.
That's some quality shit.
Good money for that.
Yeah.
What's edit do? No, never mind. So your staff? What's the end of it look like?
Just wood on both ends. I got one, but it's threaded at the end.
So yours or Desmond?
Mine, why would it be mine?
You carry around stuff like that too.
I carry around stuff like that. What do you mean? When have I ever carried around any weapon?
It's not a weapon. It's a walking stick. Don't talk about it like that. That's how you
Or
get
any I can't think of
It's
it.
my third leg.
Well, I mean I carry that around. Oh.
It's nice to show with you.
See you later.
Bye. Later. Do you want to get out of my house too?
It's the end of the stream. Goodbye, all the viewers.